tinfoil hat. Okay? Tinfoil hat. I actually have a tinfoil hat now. All right? So let's... Oh, there you go. Sorry about that sound. All right, so I have my tinfoil hat on. Okay? All right, next. This right here was coming out of yesterday, out of North Korea. And North Korea threatened to walk away from planned summit with the U.S. And this is coming out of Seoul from South Korea. Essentially, from what I understood about this, they were upset about statements made by Vice President Pence. So U.S. Vice President Mike Pence has made an unbridled and impudent remarks that the North Korea might end up like Libya. Military option for North Korea never came off the table. The U.S. needs complete, verifiable, and irreversible denuclearization, and so on, she said. As a person involved in the U.S. affairs, I cannot suppress my surprise at such ignorant and stupid remarks gushing out of the mouth of the U.S. Vice President. I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to disagree here. This is a legitimate concern. The reason why is what Hillary Clinton did to Libya was a war crime. Was a war crime. She was a war criminal. She is a war criminal. She's a war hawk. Mike Pence is a war hawk. Mike Pence is a warmongerer. So when peace negotiations are trying to take place, with Mike Pompeo having incredible success, and Donald Trump having incredible success, who comes and stabs Donald Trump in the back? Mike Pence. I think this is grounds to request Mike Pence's resignation. I think Mike Pence should no longer be the Vice President of the United States. He cucked this up. Now, I understand that there's more detail to this, that when Mike Pompeo was testifying this morning, he said that North Korea hasn't responded back to us regarding the negotiations of the summit. So it could have been that they were just ignoring them. It could have been that they were holding off on them. It could have been that they were being pressured not to plan them. We're going to look into multiple areas of this. And I really want to point out to Larry in the comments, Michael, do you really think this is all theater? You really don't think this is all theater, is what you're saying. I think that the deep state wants war with North Korea under all possible conditions. They know that Spygate is breaking wide open. They know that the crimes of the Clinton Foundation are starting to come out, and they need a backup. They need a distraction. And this is their type of distraction, to get Mike Pence to sabotage the North Korean summit in order to basically brag about a crime that the United States government committed against another nation. And for what? Hillary Clinton lied consistently about everything regarding the Middle East. They lied about everything considering the funding of the Middle East, the radical groups in the Middle East, the influence that Iran has over the Middle East. They were completely betraying and betraying the United States with that type of leadership. And for what? To enrich their special interest friends, in order to create an illusion of democracy. I'm very angry about this. Mike Pence should resign. I'm hearing rumors that Pence is not going to be on 2020, and honestly, Mike Pence needs to be removed beforehand. I'm not entirely familiar with what the process is for removing a vice president, but Pence should definitely be gone. Definitely be gone. He doesn't deserve to be the vice president with this type of behavior at all. He doesn't deserve. I also want to criticize Mike Pence a little bit more on a different note, and this is relating to the National Space Council position that he's in. We have massive technologies suppressed by the United States military that Donald Trump wants to bring out into the open. He can read from a teleprompter, speaking about how Donald Trump wants to make this a reality, but he's not doing anything except for sabotaging peace negotiations. So, this angle was coming out with relationship to North Korea. This article came out as well from CNBC. I'm going to paste this link into the live chat for you. One other note, for people in the live chat, make sure you change the text that says top chat to live chat. Otherwise, you will not get notified of new text chats as they come in. It's a form of censorship that they do to quality control the chat messages. So this one here was CNBC. Trump cancels Singapore nuclear summit with North Korea leading Kim Jong-un. And the bullet points to this is, you talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful, I pray to God that they will never be used. And we're going to look into this a little bit further, because I wanted to really cover the reality here that the deep state is in panic mode. They are in panic mode. They do not want this information coming out. You have spooks all over the place lying. You have spooks everywhere right now that are trying to do all of the cleanup of the deep state to protect them, to prevent them from getting prosecuted, from applying maximum pressure against Donald Trump and against the agenda of Donald Trump. And what I want to do is take a second and watch President Trump's response to this, because his response to ending, for canceling at least the June 12th date, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be rescheduled. It just means that the June 12th date has been canceled. So somebody in the comments is asking, why did Trump choose Pence for VP? I don't believe that it was a choice. I firmly believe that it was not a choice. That was a requirement in order to be selected as the Republican nominee, because Pence is a deep state warmonger. Okay, would have been business as usual. Classic Republicans like traitorous George Bush, traitorous John McStain, they like Pence. Okay? Reince Pubis liked Pence. Okay? I don't like Pence. I'm not a big fan of Mike Pence. I really don't like Mike Pence. But then again, that's the cost of doing business at the end of the day. You have to make concessions somewhere. So let's watch this clip right here. It's only a couple minutes.
Based on the recent statement of...
I'm going to increase the audio here for everyone. Just give me a second. Okay.
Based on the recent statement of North Korea, I have decided to terminate the planned summit in Singapore on June 12th. While many things can happen and a great opportunity lies ahead potentially, I believe that this is a tremendous setback for North Korea and indeed a setback for the world. I've spoken to General Mattis and the Joint Chiefs of Staff and our military, which is by far the most powerful anywhere in the world, that has been greatly enhanced recently, as you all know, is ready if necessary. Likewise, I have spoken to South Korea and Japan, and they are not only ready should foolish or reckless acts be taken by North Korea, but they are willing to shoulder much of the cost of any financial burden, any of the costs associated by the United States in operations if such an unfortunate situation is forced upon us. Hopefully, positive things will be taking place with respect to the future of North Korea. But if they don't, we are more ready than we have ever been before. North Korea has the opportunity to end decades of poverty and oppression by following the path of denuclearization and joining the community of nations. And I hope that Kim Jong-un will ultimately do what is right, not only for himself, but perhaps most importantly, what's right for his people, who are suffering greatly and needlessly. All of the Korean people, North and South, deserve to be able to live together in harmony, prosperity, and peace. That bright and beautiful future can only happen when the threat of nuclear weapons is removed. No way it can happen otherwise. If and when Kim Jong-un chooses to engage in constructive dialogue and actions, I am waiting. In the meantime, our very strong sanctions, by far the strongest sanctions ever imposed, and maximum pressure campaign will continue, as it has been continuing. But no matter what happens and what we do, we will never, ever compromise the safety and security of the United States of America. I want to make that statement, feel very, very strongly about it. Our military, as you know, has been greatly enhanced. Will soon be at a level that it's never been before. Our approval of $700 billion this year and $716 billion next year, largely due to the help of a lot of the people with me today and standing right here, we appreciate. But we had to do that for our military, and we've done it, and hopefully everything's going to work out well with North Korea. And a lot of things can happen, including the fact that perhaps, and would wait, it's possible that the existing summit could take place or a summit at some later date. Nobody should be anxious. We have to get it right.
Okay. So that was President Trump speaking today, this morning, while he was signing the legislation that was bringing in changes to Dodd-Frank, changes to student loans elsewhere. So I'm going to cover one more piece on the North Korea front before we move on, because there's a whole bunch of news and we're not going to just fixate on one thing. This is the Daily Mail coming out with, Kim ghosted us, says Trump's Secretary of State after nuclear summit is canceled, revealing the U.S. had no response from North Korea about meeting preparations. So, in the absence of progress, Pompeo said in some ways its situation is normal. The pressure campaign still continues. So I wanted to raise awareness about this because, look at this propaganda. And here was the letter that President Trump issued to North Korea. Now, my first impression to this, let me get to my commentary about this, because we're done talking about North Korea for a minute. Let me give you my commentary to it. So, I think this is part of the art of the deal. This is getting North Korea to at least realize that they had a great opportunity for something, and as long as they're willing to have a dialogue, and as long as they're willing to tone down on some of the horrible rhetoric. Now, but at the same time, I don't disagree with their statements about Mike Pence saying, well, you're just going to end up like Libya. Libya was nothing but war crimes. There were war crimes committed against Libya. I mean, anybody who cannot recognize that is fucking brain dead. There were war crimes committed against Libya. And the reality is, the secrets of the war crimes committed against Libya were, of course, from Hillary Clinton's private email server. All of the negotiations right in front of you. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people in the chat is saying 4D chess, 5D chess, right at its finest, right at its finest. Okay? It's very possible. It's very, very possible. But I do not trust Mike Pence. Nothing about Mike Pence do I trust. Nothing. In fact, he was one of the biggest reasons why it took me such a long time to actually consider voting for Donald Trump. And what I want is for justice to be served to the Clintons. They need to stand judgment for their crimes. They have to. And Mike Pence rubbing it in North Korea's face, look at what Hillary Clinton did, and she got away with it, but we're going to fuck you up too. It's like, you don't say that to another country. You don't say that we're just going to totally destroy your country. For what? For what? What was the reason for going into Libya in the first place? There was no reason at all. There was no reason at all to go into Libya. None. This is one of the interesting kinks into the entire cogwheel, because whether or not this is 5D chess or not, I'm going to look into this for a second. If it is 5D chess, if the outrage here, last night they were saying that, we're good, nothing's changed. Then all of a sudden, boom, everything's changed. Okay, overnight, everything changed. Literally, overnight. So, was the purpose for this because they hadn't received confirmations about the different events that were going on, and then they heard some of the rhetoric in response to Mike Pence come out? There may have been two parts to this, okay? The whole Mike Pence thing could have been just the distraction to the reality of what's going on underneath. That's possible, but that requires a shit ton of tinfoil to put on my head, and honestly, I don't have enough tinfoil for that. Okay? Actually, ironically enough, here. I wanted to do this for everyone a long time ago, and I'm finally going to do it. Okay? Here's some tinfoil. It's technically aluminum foil. Here. Tinfoil hat. Okay? Tinfoil hat. I actually have a tinfoil hat now. Alright? So let's... there you go. Sorry about that sound. Alright, so I have my tinfoil hat on. Okay? Let us talk about a tinfoil hat conspiracy. What if... What if... I know, it's ridiculous. I have a hard time. You can't even take me seriously. What if this is all part of the art of the deal? What if this is part of the art of the deal? Yeah, this is aluminum. It's aluminum or aluminium. It's tinfoil hat, trimfoil hat, something. But people have wanted me to do that for a while, so I just I've had it here for a while. Oh well. This was a line for me. Doesn't matter if the provocation was to enrage people about what Hillary Clinton did. That was a line for me. What Mike Pence did. Bragging about the crimes of Hillary Clinton to threaten another country. I don't care if they're an enemy of us. What Hillary Clinton did was war crimes. They were war crimes that she did. She was laughing about killing Gaddafi. She was receiving hundreds of millions of dollars in under-the-table donations to the Clinton Foundation. While we came, we saw, he died. Ha 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 ha. It's like, and then you have Mike Pence come out and say, well, we're going to fuck you up just like Hillary Clinton did to Libya. Is this a representation of Mike Pence's values? Is Mike Pence endorsing what Hillary Clinton did to Libya? That's what I understood today. So, I believe that half of this is part of making a deal, that there may be certain things that came up that are new, that have changed the timelines, that have changed the deadlines. It could be, here, to put your tinfoil hat on, it could be that President Trump has other things planned for that time and couldn't do the 12th. Because he did say that, well, it might not be the 12th, it might be later, okay? But what if this is part of making a deal, having Pence come out, bash on Hillary Clinton for a little bit, enrage Make America Great Again, who want justice brought to the Clintons so that they can receive judgment the same way that regular Americans do, but provocate North Korea in threatening them with more war crimes, illegal war crimes. I can't support a person who wants to endorse what Hillary Clinton did to Libya, what Bush did to Iraq. Sorry, I can't do it. I disagreed with both of those. I thought both of those were stupid. I thought the Obama administration's invading 7 other countries was stupid. And yet we have here, is this part of the deal? I don't know. My tinfoil hat. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud about this because it is... I want world peace. I want world peace. We all want it. We all need it. And having people come out and endorsing what Hillary Clinton did by threatening somebody else with what she did is a crime, in my opinion. That's a red line. Mike Pence should not be the Vice President of the United States. I stand firmly on that assessment. It has some to do with my predisposition to him in the past, and it has a lot to do with this disastrous move by Mike Pence. Disastrous move. Like people in the comments are saying, the deep state does not want world peace. They do not want world peace. They want war, they want enslavement, they want poverty, they want human trafficking. They want to just enjoy the fruits of their wealth while everybody else is poor, while everyone else is struggling. That's what these people want to do. And in my opinion, Mike Pence is not Make America Great Again. He's not in that group. None.